Hi guys and welcome to the step-by-step Excel tutorials YouTube channel. Today we're going to be looking at the VLOOKUP function, which is one of the most commonly used functions in Excel and one that I use personally on a day-to-day basis. The purpose of the VLOOKUP function is to consolidate data from different sheets or workbooks in order to get a more complete data set. In this example, on the first tab I've got a list of sales staff and the state in which they operate, and on the second tab I've got the list of the same sales staff as well as their yearly sales totals by month. While the list of sales staff on the first tab and the second tab are the same, the order in which the names appear are different. As such, we can't simply copy and paste the sales data from any of these months into the sales team tab, as it won't align to the correct salesperson. This is where the VLOOKUP function comes in. The VLOOKUP function can be used to match the sales totals on the yearly sales tab to the correct sales team member on the first tab. So let's go ahead and use the VLOOKUP function to match the sales totals on the yearly sales tab to the correct sales staff member on the sales team tab. First of all, we're going to type in equals VLOOKUP and open the bracket. The first part of the formula is the lookup value. This is essentially the reference cell or range of cells you'd like to match to. In this instance, we're going to go ahead and use the sales staff name. The second part of the VLOOKUP formula is called the table array. The table array is essentially the table of data or the range of cells which we want our lookup value to match back to. In this case, our table array or our range of cells is the yearly sales data on the second tab. After selecting our table array, we'll go ahead and type a comma in order to get onto the third part of the formula. The third part of the formula is the column index number. This is essentially where we tell the VLOOKUP formula which column in our table array that we want to match back to. For example, if we want to tell the VLOOKUP to return the July sales totals, we'll go ahead and enter number 8, as it's the 8th column in the table array. If we wanted, for example, the December sales data, we would go ahead and enter number 13. Finally, to finish the VLOOKUP formula off, we'll have to enter the range lookup. So there are two options for the range lookup. In order to return an exact match, we'll use either false or 0. To return a fuzzy matchup or a rough match, you'll enter true or 1. Most of the time when using the VLOOKUP formula, you want an exact match, so we'll go ahead and enter 0 to get the exact match. And then finally, we can close the brackets and hit enter. As you can see, the sales figure has been correctly entered into the sales column in the first tab. Just to ensure that this is correct, we can go back to the yearly sales tab, check the July figure for Ed. Ed is here. July 8,200. If we want to extend the VLOOKUP formula down for all sales staff, this can be done easily by simply locking the table array like so. So we want to enter a $sign at the beginning of the cell reference and in the middle of the cell reference, locking both the column and the row in place and hitting enter. And then once we get to the bottom right hand corner of the cell, we click the cell, hold it, and then drag it down all the way to the end. As such, we then have the VLOOKUP function working in order to return the July sales figures for all of the sales staff. One very important feature of the VLOOKUP that must be kept in mind in order to ensure that the formula works correctly is that our cell references that could be seen over on the left must be in the first column of our table array. For example, if our sales staff names were in column N or in the middle of our table array, we would not be able to accurately look up the corresponding figure. One of the most common errors in the VLOOKUP is when our cell references don't match back directly to the first column in our table array. For example, this could be due to leading or trailing spaces. So just to demonstrate this, I'll click on cell A4 and I'm going to enter a trailing space, which is just a space behind Tom's name. So when I go to run another VLOOKUP, and I'm going to look up cell A4 in our table array here, and I'm going to look for January sales totals. So 2 for the second column, finish it off with 0, close bracket, we get NA. This is due to the fact that the Tom in this cell reference doesn't exactly equal the Tom in our table array. This is a quick and simple fix, so if you identify this error, go into your cell, click it, backspace, remove the space there, and hit enter, and it should work fine. So if your VLOOKUP is resulting in an error, the first thing I would recommend is checking that your reference cell matches directly back to a corresponding cell in the first column of your table array. That includes making sure there are no leading or trailing spaces in either of the cells, as well as checking that they are spelt exactly the same. This should hopefully solve any errors that you will incur when using the VLOOKUP formula. But if you're experiencing any other VLOOKUP errors, please drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to address them. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this tutorial. I really hope you found it useful. Please feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel, as I'll be dropping more Excel tutorial content in the near future. Please also leave a comment if you found it useful or if you're struggling with the VLOOKUP formula, and I'll do my best to respond to your comment as soon as I can. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you soon.